Hello and welcome back to Ahhnold Reacts, where today we are going to go ahead and take a look and provide you with a recap to episode 2 of the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. Now, if you haven't already seen my first episode where I review and recap the first episode, make sure to check that out first. Now, as with the previous video, we have limitations on what I can show you. So for the most part, you're going to be looking at me and my feedback and a nice little promotional picture. Also, if it is not obvious, spoiler alerts, as I'm going to be talking about the majority of things that happen in this episode and providing you with my feedback. Now, let's go ahead and get to the video. Now, as we begin this episode, we see Obi-Wan, and he is arriving on a very kind of shady planet, and this is because he was able to use the tracking information that Leia's adoptive parents provided him with. And his goal here obviously is going to be to rescue Leia. Now, the city's called, or this planet rather, is called Ahhnold, and so he arrives and he's asking people about where to find the ship that he's trying to track, but initially he's not having very good luck with this. And in this initial scene, you're going to see how this is kind of a very stricken down area, lots of crime. You see former troopers from I believe this is from the Clone Wars, down in the luck, kind of how we see in our world, you know, veterans from Vietnam begging on the streets, for example, down in the luck. Now, next scene, he gets approached by this young female. She's probably like, you know, kind of like a street rat, like a hooligan that kind of has connections to whether it's drugs or other illicit needs and wants. And so for him, he's kind of asking, you know, I'm trying to find my daughter. And for her, she's like, oh, good luck with that. But, you know, here's some drugs. The first one's free. So you can kind of see that the kind of dark underside of the city kind of being painted for you. But then, luckily, or who knows, unluckily for him, he's overheard by this other young gentleman, and he says, are you looking for help? Well, I know a Jedi. I can take you to a Jedi. And this, of course, surprises Obi-Wan, because, you know, the Jedi are gone as far as he knows, or a lot of them have been hunted down. And so he gets taken to this quote-unquote Jedi. And you see this interaction with this so-called Jedi as he goes to try kind of rescue these two individuals to get him off planet. But clearly he's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. He's looking to get paid for this. And then shortly after that, you kind of see Obi-Wan see through his ruse that this is kind of all trickery and this is not a real Jedi. He's kind of a con artist here to take advantage of people to make money. Now, of course, this kind of fake Jedi initially didn't know that who Obi-Wan was and that he was a Jedi, so he tries to pass the quick one on him, but he fails, and you see kind of Obi-Wan, you know, not being afraid to be pushy when he needs to, kind of sticks him up at gunpoint or laser point, and kind of says, hey, help me find my daughter. Now this Jedi, he sends him the direction of this kind of city underground, looks kind of like a drug den, where he believes that potentially she could be hidden. So you see him kind of breaking in and beating up some of these individuals in there, and then it's got this dramatic moment where you think he has found her, but no, he hasn't found her, he found his droid. But just as we believe that he's not in the right location, we find, again, I believe it's Flea playing the role of the head scoundrel that actually did take Leia. And he is here to kind of catch Obi-Wan off guard. So he is the right place, just not in the best of situations. And these scoundrels, they know who Obi-Wan is. And they kind of think he's going to be some softy because, you know, he's a Jedi, goody two-shoe. But he surprises him again and looks, he has some sort of canister. I believe it's kind of like of drugs that he received. He drops it down and covers his mouth, but everybody else kind of hallucinates, get kind of knocked out. They get super high, and he's able to kind of get out. Now, as he works on escaping and looking for Leia, we cut to Reva arriving on the planet. So if you saw in the first episode, we found out that she's the one that kind of hired these individuals to get Leia. So she's arriving here likely to grab Leia so she can take him back to Vader. Now, before she can do that, Obi-Wan does find Leia. But as surprise to nobody, probably, she doesn't trust him. She doesn't know who Obi-Wan is, doesn't believe he's a Jedi, and is kind of very resilient. She doesn't know there's another individual here to just kidnap her and take her somewhere else. Now, she does finally believe him, at least to a certain degree, and they start to get out of there. And this is just in time because Riva arrives to the den and finds, the scoundrels, and they're all kind of high and on the ground. And she's so frustrated that Leia got away and that Obi-Wan got away. Now here, as Obi-Wan is escaping, we again still see that rebellious side to Leia. She doesn't really want to listen to him and his instruction, but kind of does it begrudgingly. And then we jump over to Riva as she meets up with the Grand Inquisitor and the Second Inquisitor. And again, if you didn't see my reactions to her interaction with the Grand Inquisitor in episode 1, do check it out. But in short, I have issues with this because, again, this is now the third time that she is going clearly against the wishes of the Grand Inquisitor, which I just don't think this would be allowed. Should be just killed and slaughtered for insubordination, in my opinion. But they kind of let it go initially here. He's just getting more and more frustrated with her. And interestingly enough, you also see the ego of the Grand Inquisitor. He clearly looks down at her, kind of says she's scum. She's nothing, she's lower than dirt. She's not on the same level as them, which yet again, clearly he's underestimating her ability, but I do not understand why he puts up with her if she's causing all this trouble. If she's so low, why not eliminate her? And here she communicates, hey, I tricked Obi-Wan to come out here. I'm going to get him. I'm going to take him to Vader. And he's like, no. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the credit. So again, you kind of see how these Sith, the Inquisitors, they don't trust each other. They backstab each other. There's no honor among thieves here. Now, to undermine his efforts, Riva goes and communicates with her little group of scoundrels and kind of says, hey, put out like a secret bounty on Obi-Wan for everybody on the planet. So kind of puts out a red alert. This kind of like the John Wick search almost, but like on a small Disney scale. So I found that kind of interesting. They're all starting to look for him and they're trying to hide out. And the question is, how are they going to get away? Everybody's on high alert. Now in the next scene, we see the kind of fake Jedi. He hears about this bounty. And so I found this next part kind of interesting because he says, oh, well, we better find him first. So the idea, you think here that he's going to be turning them in. So remember that thought as we go on in the episode. Now at this point, while Kenobi is trying to kind of sneak out, the Grand Inquisitor also finds out that this bounty is been put out on Obi-Wan, and now he's super pissed because he's trying to be all incognito. But again, Riva is just pushing it to the limits, and now he's clearly very, very pissed off. And then we cut to Riva, and she kind of looks like Batman on top of the city, kind of looking out, scouting out, trying to find Obi-Wan. So again, they're really going a really long way to make her look really badass here. Now, as Leia and Obi-Wan are trying to get away, she notices that there's like a wanted poster on one of the hooligans that they kind of beat up while trying to escape. And so now she begins to question Obi-Wan. Why is the bounty for him? Is he a bad guy? She doesn't believe him. She kind of wants him to prove to her that he's a Jedi, but he's trying to resist to use, Jedi powers so they don't draw attention to himself. And so there's this tension again, and not surprisingly. And I like this. I like the fact that she does not instantly trust him 100%. I mean, why should she? She's a smart little child overall, and trusting individuals probably not natural to her, especially some random person that, came out of nowhere when she had already been captured by random people before. So it's a nice little touch there that they're trying to develop. Now she goes and starts running away from Obi-Wan. And the one thing that I think is really silly, he's running after her, but he takes off his hood. Why would he do that? Clearly everybody's looking for him. Should have his hood up, but no, of course, has his hood down. Great job, Obi-Wan. Way to not get noticed. And this leads us to this kind of big epic chase scene across the top of this cityscape, on these rooftops, which is a little silly. Yet again, just like in episode 1, magically this little girl somehow can stay ahead of Obi-Wan. You're telling me this, full-grown man cannot catch up to this little kid that's maybe 3.5, 4 feet tall, and then at the same time you have this contrast of Riva's looking for them. And she's doing flips on the roofs. She's now this super ninja, almost like a super Jedi or something. I don't know. And we got everybody chasing them, shooting after them. And of course, Leia goes and she tries to jump across the roof. And I'm really actually glad she didn't make it. I could so see her somehow using like innate force powers or something, or some magical kid super leg jump to get across. But no, of course, she jumps, drops down, and she's about to drop to her death most likely. And so this is the moment where Obi-Wan says, you know what, I can't let her perish. And he uses his force power to let her drop gently to the ground. And then, using moving magic again, somehow magically in 2 seconds, he's down on the front level to get right back to her, which again is kind of silly in my opinion. And magically everybody's kind of, they're not on their tail anymore for that moment, and they can kind of get away. And of course, now that she's seen him using the powers, she instantly trusts him. So it's a little corny, a little cheesy, but I see what they're trying to get across. There was some nice little emotion there, a little campy, but you know what? It moves the story forward. And now as they're trying to get away, a bounty hunter kind of robot catches up to them. And out of the blue, right before he's able to attack, he gets shot by the Jedi we met previous, the quote-unquote Jedi, the fake Jedi. And all of a sudden, I'm a little confused because he goes and he's like, here, let me help you get out of here. I've had to change your heart. You got to get away on this transport. And it's kind of this interesting situation, which I was a little confused because I would think he'd want to turn him in. At the same time, it seems like he's trying to help them, and Obi-Wan doesn't really have a choice. He's already has no idea where to go. So he either trusts him and maybe gets away, or randomly runs around and probably gets caught. So he listens to him and kind of goes on using his directions. And then as they're getting away, this quote-unquote Jedi, he confronts Reva and tries to kind of pretend to be a Jedi and be really tough and badass. But she clearly sees right through it. And then once he realizes who she is and how powerful she is, it looks like he's just about to shit his pants. And then she goes ahead and uses some kind of dark Jedi power and kind of reads his mind and takes the information that she needs from him. And as he's kind of sitting there shaking, she just leaves and moves on. I'm actually partially surprised she doesn't just cut him down right there. It seems like her character would do that. Now in the next scene, as Obi-Wan and Leia get kind of to the transport area, the secret area, Reva catches up to them and they're trying to hide. And then you get this great kind of interaction where Reva's looking for Obi-Wan and has kind of a monologue towards him. And the big kind of reveal occurs where Reva kind of reveals to him that, hey, Anakin is alive. He's not dead. And you kind of see this pure shock in Obi-Wan's eyes, because as far as he knew, he thought Obi-Wan was dead. He left him, for dead, cut apart and burning. So this is just this huge shock reveal for him. And just as we believe that she's going to reveal him, the Grand Inquisitor shows up and says, WTF? What are you doing here? You betrayed me. And then to surprise no one, I don't think, Reba goes and kills the Grand Inquisitor. Again, this has got to be the stupidest Grand Inquisitor I've ever met. How did he not see this coming? I mean, I could see that he probably he underestimated it clearly, but this guy just like, oh my God, I was like, I don't get it. And he deserved it. He got killed. She clearly was much more conniving than he is. But this time, this distraction is just enough for Kenobi and Leia to get on the transport and get away right before she gets to the transport. And then we get the spine-chilling moment in the episode. I love this last part. You see Leia talking to Kenobi while he's on the ship, and he's in still pure shock. And he just says the word Anakin, and we jump to the scene of Anakin's eyes open up in the back of the tank. I think it's a back of the tank. He looks all jacked up. But man, the musical score, this is wonderful. I mean, it hit me. When that moment hit, I got chills down my spine. I just cannot wait to episode 3. Now let me ask you, have you watched this episode? What are your thoughts? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you think some of the corny parts were corny as I did? Or did you think it was all wonderful? Or did you think it was crap? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And make sure to check out my next episode when I review and recap episode 3 for you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Now, all non-ghoulie men, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to be fantastic like me, make sure to hit that notification bell. Also, leave a comment what you would like for me to say in my fantastic Ahhnold voice, and I may feature it in the next video. Now, check out the recommended videos. Do it now.